Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is me, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. I'm back with an end of the week vent session. My name is Jaime, and let's get on with some vents, humans. But before I do that, I would appreciate it if you would smash that subscription, hit me with a like button, and turn on those notifications because I'm here twice a week. And like I said, round one, let's get on with some vents. You know, we got the big game. The big game is tomorrow. And a lot can be said about this big game. It's kind of exciting for some, and a lot of people coming into sports because it's kind of anybody's game. It's good to see some new teams in the Super Bowl. You know, it's kind of good to see them. And you don't always get to see them. But my thing is, can the lights be too big for the rookie, for the guy like the young kid, or can the lights be too big for the guy who's had trouble sometimes in the big games, but it seems like this time, you know, he's in a new team, new environment, and maybe the lights ain't too big because he seems like now, you know, he's making big strides right now, and you know he's in the big game as well. So there's a lot going on with the big game, but can they handle the bright lights? Is it going to be too bright? They have to play with the shades on, or can they handle the big game and all the pressure? We'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited about it. Like I said, I'm glad there's a couple different teams to see besides Brady winning them all the damn time. Seemed like that dude was just knocking Super Bowls everywhere. And he was pretty much close to doing it again if that one guy didn't make a pick. But anyways, here we go. My thing is, I don't really like there's a 2-week break you got to wait for the damn Super Bowl. You know, you got to wait 2 weeks for this big game. And it's like you get some stupid little like football all-star game before the game. It's called the Pro Bowl. And they should just put that at the end of the year because nobody even... It's like flag football. Don't nobody tackle nobody. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just not some like... It's probably what like the fantasy guys really want the game to be like. They don't want nobody to touch nobody and like, you know, just a weird game. But I just think they should put that at the end of the year because it's just, you know, let's get this game on the... I feel like the momentum is important in that sport because some guys get hurt. I mean, they're probably playing hurt all the time. I mean, they're crashing into other large humans, you know, for a living. And you got to have some nicks and bruises on for the, you know, every week. So I think those things can settle in 2 weeks. Some of your injuries could, or it could benefit some people that needed some rest. But it's vice versa, man. I feel like you're rolling the dice. But when the momentum's going and you're fresh and you're still moving good, I feel like those things can kind of hurt teams more than help them. But it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said, there's going to be some fresh new blood out there. You got, you know, the guy who used to be our quarterback, that guy. You know, it's got trade. You know, I'm like I said, I'm happy he got his playoff win, but that's as far as I'm going to take with him. And he's in the Super Bowl. If he gets it, that's cool. It's great for him. Wish it was in our uniform, but you know that will probably not happen unless I turn on the video games again and win on the PlayStation, because that's like, you know, fantasy thinking. Maybe one day my team will get it. Maybe not. Who knows? It doesn't really seem like they're going to get it. It seems like every year you got hopes. But I found a way to disconnect. So they don't get me there. But back to the big game. Some people are putting a lot of hype around. There's like when you watch these stories and all these interviews, sometimes you get a feeling like maybe like could the fix be in? Could the fix be in on the big game? And what I mean by this is like I've seen a lot of interviews. I follow sports. I'm a big sports head. I love all sports, especially the fight game and some NFL. You know, I really like the fight game. I'm a big fight game fan. But I also follow NFL and college football, big time. So what I mean by could the fix be in? I've seen interviews and admissions from former and active players about weird accusations that the outcome of the game isn't really determined on the field. That's right, humans. Of active players and retired players that have played with all the greats have said that the games aren't determined on the field. So what we see is possibly something close to a scripted entertainment, a scripted entertainment show And I'm not sure how true this is, but when you see, but these guys were real players, and like I said, active players, and some were retired players, Super Bowl champions, and they said that they were told, what to do, and when the game, is whatever happens in between the lines, this team has to come out on top. And it was really interesting, and you wonder if it's really true, because now you start to see the media start to, maybe they're like searching and reaching for the new Brady, or they're searching and reaching for like the new era of football, and they thought maybe it was going to be Patrick Mahomes, but then he kind of hit a little slump, and then he got back real hot in the playoffs, almost made it, but then this guy, Joey Burrow, comes around, and he knocks him off the plank, and he's over here, the guy who was injured part of his career, came first round draft pick overall, won a national title, won the Heisman Trophy. The kid was just like, all when you hear in the media, all he does is win. And are they trying to make him like the next Brady? That's what you wonder, and that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, like when LeBron James came out, and all they did was he's the next Jordan, and all these people are under this facade like the guy's going to be, better than Jordan. I mean, numbers wise, he might pass these numbers, but he's played a lot. But either way, the numbers don't mean anything anymore, because I feel like that Jordan LeBron thing is over. Because when it's all said and done, he can still keep chasing Jordan's ring count with all his numbers, but you got to figure Jordan accomplished all those things in, I think, like under 1,000 games. So if you think about it, that's like that's pretty amazing when you figure out, and then you look at what all the things that Jordan did, and he did it in just those amount of games. And LeBron's like over 1,300 games right now, probably going to double the amount of games, and still ain't got number 5. Still ain't even caught Kobe's rings yet, But like I said, that one's all done. I think that one's an ending. But I feel like they're like trying to push this next Brady, and they want it to be like, and they don't want it to be, I don't think they want it to be Stafford. I think they want it to be Burrow, because Stafford's like later in his career. He's played, I think this is his 14th year maybe, or 13th year. I don't know. But this is his best year of his career, that's for sure. But I mean, he's older compared to compared to Burrow. So I would think Burrow would be the longer story, the better story. Because Stafford, let's say the fix is in for Stafford, and Stafford wins. Now he gets he's definitely going to be like a first ballot Hall of Famer with a Super Bowl win. And, he's got the playoff wins and stuff and all those crazy amount of yards. And then for Burrow, if the fix is in for Burrow, he's a younger, more interesting story in my opinion, because the guy's got the longevity. He's going to be around for his 14 seasons plus, plus, in case he doesn't get injured again. But so it's going to go either way, and you wonder if those guys are telling the truth. One of the players is on one of the teams playing in the Super Bowl. One of the guys is Jalen Ramsey. And you can look this interview up, humans. Jalen Ramsey said this on a radio interview, said that they were told to give a game to the Patriots because that's the team would have got more ratings or whatever on TV or something like that. And they were told this in the locker room by, I don't know if it was the coach or who or what kind of check writer or who it is. But Jalen Ramsey's in there making an interview. This other individual, I forget who he is, but he played with the Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl with Brady. And these guys were making these real claims and bringing up real events to go look up for yourselves to see if these games were really, fixed. And that is really wild. If this is true, that is really wild. But anyways, I think that the Bengals and the Rams is going to be a great game. I don't know if it's going to be a high-scoring game. It could be because, the Rams have a crazy high-scoring offense, but the Bengals can also put up some points. But the Rams have a really, really, really good defense. So this is going to be really interesting how, because this quarterback's known to get hit, and take the licking and, come back and pull off wins and stuff like that. But we're going to see how this pulls out. I'm interested to see how this game's going to pull out. I'm kind of rooting for the Bengals just for the underdog scenario. I kind of feel like they are the underdog coming into the game. I think the Rams are favored. I think it was like by 4 points. Last time I checked, I think it was about by 4 points. But I'm kind of rooting for the Bengals. I feel like they have the less pressure because they're all a lot of young players and they don't got too much. I mean, they're just kind of making names for themselves right now. They got a long career ahead of them. And I feel like the Rams have the most pressure. They gave up like a lot of draft picks and a lot of stock on their team to get this team together that they have now to try to win this Super Bowl. So I feel like the pressure is mostly on the Rams. If they win, it all pays off. Everything pays off. You guys made all these moves, got all these players here, traded this person, that person. But if they lose, then like they're kind of hurting for the next season. They might be better off winning, because some of the players might want to stay on the team. But if they lose, other players are going to want to go. They're not going to be able to draft well because they gave away like all the draft picks. They gave away all these draft picks to like some of us in the Lions, some of the other teams to get all these players. So they're kind of going to be like SOL in a way, but it'll be SOR, it'll be the same old Rams come next season if maybe they don't get the win. I kind of feel a win will help the Rams, continue to build the team for possibly a next season. But if they lose, it kind of hurts the team. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm no football expert. This is just what I think could happen. The way the system goes and this game goes, sometimes like if they just give up on a quarterback or give up on somebody on players, if you don't perform like right away, that you got to win now, that win now scenario. I'm sure they had that win now scenario in the Lions. That's why they went through like all these coaches like a dozen of eggs. It was just like, boom, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job. But I think the Bengals would be a fun story if they get the win. But then you got the scenario what if Stafford's playing in the game, the Rams, Stafford gets injured. God forbid anything happens. I'm just saying this is like a what if scenario. Say he get like I said, I don't want him to get injured, but let's say what if he gets injured in the game and the backup, like say it's before the half even, like first quarter, or beginning of the second quarter, before the halftime. And the backup comes in and pulls off the win. Does that take away from how good Stafford really is? Or does that just show how good the team was put together? And could they have done the same thing if they would have kept the other quarterback one more time? It's interesting. So there'll be like those, what they call the asterisks next to his accomplishments. If Stafford goes out and they still win, did that season mean, was it really as good as it was? Or could another quarterback have done it because of how good the weapons were and how good the team was set up? It goes into that Brady Belichick, thing. You could go either way. But anyways, if I had to pick a win, I'm going to go with the Bengals just for the underdog scenario. I'd be happy. Like I said, I'm happy if Stafford does get the win, even though I wish he was in the Lions jersey or whatever. But I'm not going to ride on the coattails of if you were still on our team. No, because you're not on our team anymore, and that's just what it is. But I think the underdog story is better than you winning the Super Bowl. So no offense, but I'm going for the Bengals. Here we go, humans. Back to our messed up politics. And on to our regular programming. I had to get that little sports fan out because, the big game. I apologize, and I'm back to some more serious venting. California. If things couldn't get any more crazier over there, and I like I said, I love the place. I want to go there, but not right now because I don't think I can afford it. I don't think I can. And a lot of people can't afford it over there, and there's a really large amount of homeless people over there because of the climate. There's a lot. That's what some people think. When you read some articles, that's what they got some I hate that word sometimes when I try to roll it off, but statistics. But California cities are asking residents to take in homeless people, homeless humans, and let them live in their spare rooms, giving up the spare rooms for some homeless citizens. No. Right? No. Just no. Not even how about no, just no. So the government, to me, I feel like they just quit in some cities. They're just like, we're just going to wash our hands in some cities. Like, Yeah, you can have a, yeah, over there. Nah, we're done with you. We're done with you. And they're just going to let people just do whatever. Like, there's the big homeless problem, isn't there? They're like, no, it's not that bad. Or what are you going to do about the homeless problem? Well, can't you just let them live with you? No, you can't just let them live with you. I'm not going to let you live with me. I don't know you like that. You're just a stranger, humans. Are all homeless people going to be bad humans? No, definitely not. But do I know you? No. You're still a stranger? Yes. I don't know if you're bad or good. And I'm not Santa Claus. Like, I can't check no list twice. I don't get the list. We don't know you. We don't know you. But they are just like giving up on some cities and just being like, you know, it's all your responsibility now. Just like some of the, you know, mandates and restrictions and stuff. And okay, now this is your problem. Here you go. We're done. Oh my gosh, we're going to turn away. On to the next one. But would you want, let me ask you this, humans, would you want to let a homeless human come into your house and just live in your house around if you have children or young babies or infants? Would you, humans? Because me, no. I answered no many times. This is a big no for me. This is lots of no's. This is like no before you even finish your sentence. If we was playing Jeopardy, this would be the only question I get right. You know, would you let homeless people? No. Or I'd probably get it right unless I asked, what is no? What is no? Real quick. Would you let a stranger around your family not knowing what their intentions are? It's really interesting and kind of scary if you think about it. It's just something I'm not really a favor of. I mean, it's not a humanity thing either. It's not like, oh, you're just such a bad person. It's not about a humanity thing, humans. It's about a safety thing. Because they are strangers, and that's all you got to say. They are strangers. You don't know them. And there's some humans out there that are very religious and things like that, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But I know you could be saying something like, what would Jesus do in a situation like this? Well, that's Jesus. They're not going to steal or rob or hurt Jesus because it's Jesus. And we're not Jesus. They might rob and steal and hurt us because we're not Jesus. They'll be like, oh, they just gave us the house. I'm going to live here and just hide them somewhere in the basement and just take my house. But if Jesus let them in, they're not going to do that to Jesus. You know that. I know that. You just don't know. Only Jesus would. That's why he would let him in. Because he'd be like, I'm Jesus. They ain't going to mess with me. But on to our prez. You know I can't leave this guy alone. This guy's hitting, he's like just straight up, going through the cycle in a baseball field, man. This guy just keeps it going. And it's kind of tough to watch sometimes because he has these really bad spills, like where he just has these long pauses, longer than my pauses. And his just are like, oh. Or when they look like he's in pain. When he always looks like he's in pain about to say something where it's just like hurting. Or maybe he's going to the bathroom. I don't know what's going on. It depends. But he's really upset now because he didn't care. He started ignoring it, but now it's starting to give him, now that the midterm's getting closer, his approval ratings are dropping very, very low. They're dropping super low. They're dropping lower than his wrinkles on his face, than his chins on his face hanging out, than his skin hanging off his knees. They are dropping low. And now they're starting to pay attention. Like, what are him and his puppets, him and his puppet masters going to do? Like, what are they going to do for this next run to try to get this term or whatever was going on? Because stuff is weird. Stuff changed and nobody liked it. If somebody is happy with what's going on right now, I don't know what to say. But it's probably not going to be something positive. It probably wouldn't be anything positive all when when your parents say, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. My parents never said that. I've only heard that in a damn Bambi movie. And everybody tried to rip it off like their parents really said it. I'm like, come on, man, that was from Bambi. Don't bring me that. His numbers are dropping, and they're starting to trip. They're starting to get a little nervous now. They see the tide's turning. That's why they're already starting to bash Trump because they know he wants to come run again. Like, I'm ready to come back and play my accordion, and do all this craziness again and see what happens. But I'm sure prices might go down, which might be a good thing. I mean, we got to hear him talk like a bananas man. But at least he can talk. It might be a little entertaining. Who knows? Man, this could be another crazy circus. But if prices go down, we might not notice. We might just deal with the circus if prices get better. You know that. We'd be like, look at the gas, man. They'd be like, yeah, look at the groceries again now. But man, listen to him talk on it. All right. Okay. I'll just mute the TV. I'll just mute the TV if he fixes shit. I don't even know what fixing it would really be because they all do crazy, crooked things behind the scenes. But because things were costing less and maybe we were getting more out of, spending more and things like that and, getting more groceries for our money or getting more food for our dollar, getting more bang for the buck. Maybe that's why we didn't notice like all the shady stuff maybe he was doing. And whatever one was a good president before him as well. Maybe that guy was pretty shady that got assassinated before. You never know. Or were they exposing some of the stuff that was shady and the people were like, oh no, pulling that dictator ninja move. Like, no, you can't do it. And then you get the dart, But you never know. You just never know. So, are they going to take credit for what are they going to be the things that are going to be that are going to be positive when they try to run for the second term? I want to look for them, but I don't see any of them. Our borders are trash. Inflation's exploded. The report came out, I believe this week, I think Friday, and it wasn't good. And I don't even think it was accurate because I think it was closer to 10% than it was like the 7.8, whatever they were claiming. I think it was more closer to 10% or more when you go to the store and see with your own eyes. I mean, shit is costing a lot. You can't ignore this on a weekly, daily, normal human basis that doesn't a normal human budget basis that doesn't go around making bajillions of dollars while everybody else isn't. We notice it, you don't. We don't have people like servants. Or we don't have people that wait on us hand and foot. It's just not fair on the scale, if you ask me. So they affect our pockets more than they probably affect those guys that are making a lot of money. While we make money, we're making probably the same amount of money we were making, but the stuff costs more, so it's hurting us. What used to be the budget that we used to be able to use, that budget isn't the same. That budget is affected big time. So all these things, I don't see anything really positive. Is there anything positive? And he's still pushing that Build Back Better. The Build Back Better sounds like it's going to, break shit more. That's what I think it's going to do. It's going to break down shit more. If he pulls off another term, I think I've lost hope. I've lost hope if this man gets back in. Will it be fair? Will it be rigged? Will the fix be in like the football game? Who knows? All I know is I'll be watching very attentively and fearful. I think that's what I could use, but the word would be fearful. That's the only word I could think of. So like I said, the borders are a mess, but when you ask them, they give you the response like, well, they're all good. There's nothing wrong with the borders. And you got this story that nobody would touch on. And I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I mean, fingers crossed I don't get this one taken away. But this border crisis is pretty bad. They say they're trying to run the same thing that Trump was doing, but it's not the same because this doesn't even seem like it's stopping anyone. And it seemed like the other version was working. I'm sure people were still getting through, but not at this kind of quantity that it is now. It just seems like the gates open and everybody's going through. There's escalators for mountains. There's rides. Like I said, free cab rides, free rides everywhere, free four-wheelers, free cars, free money, free rides to the airport. It's bananas what's going on at the border. But if you ask them, they're like, it's okay. Everything's going fine. Nothing wrong here. And then if you ask the VP, she's like, just laughing. Anyways, there's a story going on here because they discovered it was like the middle of winter and getting cold in some climate areas and people making that border trip, which is very dangerous. They say it's super dangerous. And they found these two young girls walking, making this travel, making that voyage across the border without their parents. There was no parents around there. There was no adult guidance. These poor little girls were by themselves, open to the elements, dangerous, open to criminals. It was just really wild and dangerous situation. And a lot of people are afraid to touch on this. And this really bothers me. So they say this treacherous track across the border and all these different paths that they use is very dangerous. And they claim there's another statistic that shows a third of women that make this track get sexually abused, injured, all kinds of things bad happen to women. And for these two young girls to be by themselves, just nobody protecting them and leaving them up to these dangers it just upsets me a lot. It gets me kind of angry. And I'm always angry when I'm doing my events and whatnot. But this one kind of upsets me a lot because nobody wants to talk about this. And I've said this before, like there used to be a time where they pretended to care. And now I don't think they care. And nobody wants to touch on this story because like the digital assassins are like ready. They're like armed and ready. The digital assassins are like watching. The scopes are out. They're ready. They already got me lined up. And there's no turning back now. Now all I'm saying is, if this was the last president and this border thing was happening with these two little girls story that nobody wants to touch on, the media would have like a national holiday for media. It would be like a media national holiday to talk about this story if it was the last pres, if it was Trumpy Trump. And if this was him, the media would have been creaming in their pants right now. They would cream in their pants everywhere. You know it. I know it. You just don't want to admit it, but I'm doing it for you. And that's why I'm here. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I would appreciate it if you would hit me with a subscription, smash that like button, and turn on your notifications because I'm here twice a week. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.